And now we're going to be delving into the latest from the Panama Papers. Now, this story, as you said, has come back from a few years. We've got a guest now to analyze it, to discuss it with us. So we're happy to have Mateusz Piątkowski, International Public Law Department at the University of Łódź, with us. Welcome.
Good evening. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much for being here. So like I said, this scandal erupted in 2016. Now it's 8 years later, and we have 27 people being charged in connection with the Panama Papers scandal. How come it took so long?
Well, we have to remember that the investigation was very long due to the jurisdictional limitations. We have to remember that states have primary territorial jurisdiction. So in order to perform investigation outside the state, need to have permission from another state. So cross-border crimes, especially financial crimes, are really complicated, and in fact requires cooperation and a lot of good political will from all the states which are involved in such plots and schemes. And the Panama Papers was really a world affair.
Mm-hmm. And if you add bureaucracy to that, I guess it's 8 years.
Yeah, and I think also 11.5 million leaks. I mean, the files there that in all these Panama Papers, as you said, as well, jurisdiction problems, but I think also the effort of this, right? This is a global breaking story. I remember this from different investigative journalists. But let's go back to the present. Now we are in here. Many names were implicated. I think it was something like 10 or 12 world leaders from all parts of the world. But did really the reckoning come, or is it still ahead of us?
Well, I guess the conventional wisdom was for many years that some Central American states or Caribbean states are safe haven for tax evasions. And generally the plot was to establish offshore companies to hide the income from the tax authorities. So I'm guessing this really revealed a lot of problems, a lot of controlling problems, especially in the question of transferring the necessary data from the country of tax authority for the country of the permanent residence to the country of some kind of commercial activity. And I think we already seeing a lot of breakthrough in terms of financial transaction. For instance, I guess everybody now, for instance, if we are taking loan in the bank, we are asked to disclose information about the beneficiary of the transaction. It is a result of the Panama Papers, because it has been established by the states that everyone who is involved in some kind of financial transaction needs to reveal who is going to be a beneficiary, who is going to be a real beneficiary of this transaction, in order to somehow reveal the true intention and the true source of the money. So I guess we are seeing a considerable progress in terms of financial security.
Now, we know that this case includes 214,000 offshore companies, 14,000 customers, and like you said, 11.5 million documents and many popular names. Now, however, right now we know about 27 defenders. Among them are the owners of the Mossack and Fonseca, the two lawyers. Now, do we know names of the other defenders?
Unfortunately not. I guess the whole trial is all about those two masterminds, because they were actually lawyers. They established a law firm in Panama, and they offered this, let's say, sophisticated tax interpretation for clients offshore, and they basically produced this plot. We have to remember that Panama does not extradite its own citizens, and those who are charged are Panama citizens. So that's why the trial needs to take place in Panama. And I kind of think also that Panama would like to show to the world that it's not a place to make some kind of illegal businesses. It's not a safe haven, as I said at the beginning. And I'm guessing it's also stating for us a lot about the region, that the region, the Central America, the states will not tolerate those activities. Of course, we got to remember that probably there was a lot of diplomatic and political pressure put on the Panama to put those who are responsible for trial, especially given the fact that their significant jurisdictional limitations, for instance, to proceed with the investigation by the European tax authorities or European prosecution offices, or especially in the United States, because the United States really pushed for these trials and for these investigations.
And one discretion, actually, I read that Panama itself, I mean, it hates that this scandal is called Panama Papers. They
branded that
They were
name,
trying
right?
to change it, but I guess Panama Papers just stick with it.
Yeah, but also back to what you said there, I think it was interesting, Mateusz, that when we talk about these effects from this whole discovery with the beneficiaries now in the financial system, I mean, 2016 was some time ago, but what about the rest of these particular safe havens? I mean, there's still other nations out there, if they be in the Caribbean or maybe somewhere else. I mean, has this now resulted in very much above board financial dealings? Are there no more safe havens for this kind of hiding your money? Or is that too much of a conclusion to make?
I think maybe we were too early to conclude that there are no safe havens to commit some kind of tax evasion or to hide your income from the tax authorities. But I'm guessing it's now really, really much more difficult, for instance, to operate those monies, especially in the United States, in the Europe. And that was primarily a goal of these safe havens, to hide the income and to somehow transfer those money back to Europe and the United States, the main areas where those monies were spent. So I'm guessing we probably still find some safe havens all around the world, but I'm guessing that the practical possibility to use those money through some kind of as said, sophisticated interpretation of the law is going to be much more difficult due to the international duty to basically cooperate and exchange data concerning the taxation from the country of residence or the country of commercial activity.
So at the end, briefly, what can we expect from this trial? How long is it going to take to actually prove any of this when it comes to these 27 defenders?
Well, from my, let's say, modest experience, I would say it's going to take really, really long time, because we are talking about the multinational investigation. I'm guessing the charges are based on some notions or some applications coming from different jurisdictions. So I'm guessing the number of data to be processed by the court in this trial is just enormous. So I'm not optimistic about any timetable that is going to be like 1 year. I'm guessing it could take many years. And we got to remember there is something we call presumption of innocence. So until it's been proven by the court during the first trial, we need to presume that those persons are innocent under the law.
Right.
And I'm sure all the big names are not very happy.
Absolutely not. But let's just hope that it will not take another 8 years for us to have this trial finally end. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. Look, we'll have to conclude it there. Thank you so much, Mateusz Piątkowski from the University of Łódź. Appreciate your insights.